Welcome everybody to the HolloTalk podcast. This is Jetpack Nick, and I'm here with a very special guest today, my guy, Lee Harris. Say what's up to the people.
Yes, sir. What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Lee Harris. We locked in on the HolloTalk podcast, you know what I mean?
No, for sure, man. I'm glad to have you on. How you doing today?
Man, I'm blessed, bro. I want to thank you for having me on the show. You know what I'm saying? I'm really excited to have this conversation. And I'm excited to now be a fan of you and be a brother of you. So I know it's going to be a good time.
Absolutely, man. I truly appreciate, all those compliments. And, it's always special for me when I'm able to have another creative on the podcast, just to chop it up and, just talk about whatever, man. So
Yes,
that's
sir.
what I'm looking forward to doing. So before we even get started with anything, can you let the people know who you are, what you're about, and what you do, just in case they don't know?
Yeah, my name is Lee Harris. I'm an entertainer from West Philly. So that encompasses me singing, dancing, acting. I also produce my own music, not all of it, but I produce my own music. I write films and all that stuff too. So, and I'm kind of, I'm dabbling in the writing and directing and producing of films, but that's become a passion of mine over the past year or so as well. So, yeah, so I'm just people like to say a Renaissance man. And I just love everything having to do with the arts, and that's what I do.
Okay. I mean, listen, man, that's an amazing thing. I mean, me being one of those people too, even though I just, like my main thing is podcasting. I'm, for the people who listen to the pod, they know like I was in drama club in college. I'm a heavy music connoisseur. Like, so, the people know that I like to call myself a Renaissance man too. So I feel you on that. I like that. We got trademark that. But so my first question would be like, what got you into even wanting to, be into the arts, be a creative?
Honestly, I know a lot of people say this, but I think it was Michael Jackson, honestly. I heard Michael Jackson before I saw him, right? And the first album I heard was Invincible, like front to back when I was like 4 years old. And I just remember hearing the songs like, You Rock My World, or Break of Dawn, or Invincible, Heartbreaker, all these records on there, and hearing that passion and hearing the just the oomph, you know what I'm saying? Sure. In Michael's voice, and be like, yo, I want to do that. And, watching films like Moonwalker, watching Thriller, watching the You Rock My World music video. And I think, I know that really kind of was like, okay, cool, I can do this. And then, later on, I started catching on to Usher and Chris Brown, and we from Philly, so the WDAS, the Quiet Storm vibes and all that stuff. My pops was older, so he would play a lot of the Quiet Storm, a lot of jazz and all that stuff. And I knew I just wanted to do that. And in terms of the acting, right? So that's why I wanted to do the music and the dancing. But in terms of the acting, I would see like Denzel films. I would watch Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, whenever I was at my mom's crib or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I just was like, you know what, this seemed like something I could do too. So I think that it just all made me who I am today. And also, like, my father and my mom are two very charismatic people, right? Like, no matter where they go, they was always like, I don't want to say life of the party, but everybody like, yo, what's up, y'all? What's up? Like, everybody was gravitating towards them, and they knew how to cater to so many different people and I would see my father make everybody who he talked to feel special. I would see my mom make everybody who she talked to feel special, feel heard, feel loved, feel, and I think that now that I'm getting older and reflecting, not now that I'm getting older, but now that I'm evolving in age, know, and reflecting, I'm like, I think that's a part of it as well. Just seeing them really be able to entertain without having to sing and dance, but being able to entertain just people. And you can see somebody just walking and not having a good day, and then they see my mom or they see my dad, and they're like, yo, what's up? Like, all right, this is gonna be a good day. You know what I'm saying? So
for sure.
That's I know that's definitely what got me into doing what I do now.
Okay. To be honest with you, I think that, with like the way you were just describing your mom and dad, uplifting people's spirits is a talent within itself, that people don't even give enough credit to people who possess those, those skills and abilities. And like that really goes into performing and outside of it too. You know, like when you see Michael Jackson, somebody like that get on stage, you know, and they perform, it makes you feel good. You know, you could be having
Yeah.
a terrible day, and you, like you said, you throw on "You Rock My World," which is my favorite Michael Jackson song
Yeah,
of
that's
all time.
that.
Right? You know, you throw that on, you watch the video with the combination. You know, you happy after that.
Yeah.
You know. So I do think that that's like one of those understated skills that people possess that people don't give enough credit to people who
Yeah,
have.
because honestly, even me, like I thought entertainment was just singing and dancing and acting, and you know, you getting on the stage and you doing flips and you hitting high notes and whatever. But then as I'm, you know, as I'm maturing and as I'm, you know, as an actor as well, our job is to study human behavior, right?
Right.
Our job is when we're on that stage, when we're on that camera, is just tell the truth about human life and to, you know, and to my one coach, Mel Williams, he always says, you know, your job is to portray reality, right? So the real thing is, I'm entertaining you right now, you entertaining me. You know
Right.
what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
It's like whenever you meet a new girl or whatever, whoever's preference is out there, you know, y'all, it's beneficial because you guys are both entertaining each other, right? And I think that's just, there is like the limit isn't music or film or dance. You know what I'm saying? The limit
Absolutely.
can just be somebody coming in the room with some great energy. You know what I'm saying? You looking out the window and seeing how somebody walk, and that's amusing to you that day or whatever. You know, these are all forms of entertainment, and I believe that as an entertainer, my job is just to amplify that, whether it's through song, dance, or you know, on film or theater or whatever. You know?
Okay, so then let me ask a question, you know, pertaining to what you just said, because what I'm gathering from that is it sounds like influence is a big part of that. Like that comes with the ability to entertain, right?
Oh
Just
yeah,
doing just doing everyday life activities. So
yeah.
what would you say the difference is between entertaining somebody and influencing somebody, or is it not different at all, in your opinion?
Um, this is a hard one for me because I had this teacher who who said, she was saying, I can't think of the exact words that she said, but she pretty much said like, you know, there's a difference between, you know, there's a difference between the two, basically,
Okay.
right? There's a difference between being a newscaster and giving a PSA,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a difference between portraying that reality, right? So I think that intentional entertainment is both, right? Is, you know, you getting on stage being funny, not even just being funny, but you just having a message and you getting on stage, whether it's Martin Luther King, right? Whether it's Martin Luther King, whether it's Booker T from WWE, or whether it's Michael Jackson, right?
Right.
Like three extremely different things, but they're all entertaining us
Absolutely.
and giving us that influence, you know? So I think it's one and the same, man. Yeah, I think it's one and the same, man, because when you're in, we
You
hear,
good? Yeah, we
okay.
good.
But I think that's why entertainment is so controversial as well, right? That's why people are like, yo, like, you know, people are like, oh, well, the entertainers shouldn't raise your children. But I think we understand that entertainers have such a big influence because it is pretty much life. You know, entertainment is life 2.0.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we so picky about, you know, what rap songs are saying, what's on TV, what's on your YouTube channel, or whatever. So now that you asked me that question, I think it's one and the same, honestly.
Yeah, and you know, the reason I asked that question is because like I personally feel like it's kind of one and the same, just based off of how I've been influenced by art and just creatives alike, whether it's music, movies, television, or whatever else like it may be. Like when you see Michael Jordan on TV, right? The way he wears his shorts, the way like the sneakers
Yeah,
he wears, like Jordans are the most popular sneaker on the planet for a reason,
yeah,
right? So you know that influence ranges far beyond just the basketball court. that's in everyday life, pop culture. Our favorite rappers, for instance, like the lingo they use, the language, the slang, all of those things are ingrained in popular culture, and I don't think that it's a thing that you can separate from everyday life, because these are people who live everyday life. It just so happens that they have a bigger influence than some others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's just my little 2 cents on it.
Yeah, no, but now that I'm thinking about it too, because if you think about it, your favorite artist influences you in so much more than just their music, right? Like
For sure.
I was going to I went to the Kanye West and Drake concert out here, right?
Hmm.
And I'm just looking at the crowd. And matter of fact, I'll say this before I looked at that crowd, I worked near a Dave's Hot Chicken, right? Which is like something that's endorsed by Drake.
Okay.
And I would walk by there and I'm like, these people dress and talk and walk so specifically. Why is that, right?
Hmm.
And somebody was like, oh, they're endorsed by Drake. Oh, Drake not only influences, somebody who raps or whatever, but he's influencing somebody else's life. He's influencing somebody so much that they're going out to eat a specific type of food.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm not saying that I believe in idols or anything like that, but this is influence, right? When I went to the Kanye West and Drake concert, I'm going there for the entertainment. I'm going there for the music. But then I'm peeping, oh, everybody dressed like Kanye. All the girls dressed like Kim. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody dressed like, oh, snap. They wearing the Drake sneaks. They doing it. They're walking like this. They're talking like this. They're saying these specific things. Or even I know Kanye West was such an influence to me. I believe in myself, partially because of how Kanye West believes in himself, right? So I'm not saying, so the influence isn't just exterior, but it's on the interior as well.
Absolutely.
It can be bad and good, but
you just beat me to the next question. I was going to ask you, did you feel as though it could be like, is having that much influence a bad thing or a good thing?
I think it's a mixture of both. Honestly, I think it's really just a double-edged sword, because you can, just like you can influence somebody to believe in themselves and to love themselves and to find their passion and to live out their dreams. You can also influence somebody to kill themselves, to do drugs, which I'm not saying, if somebody does drugs out there, I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to demonize drugs,
right.
But what I am saying is all these things can be influenced by, the type of music you listen to, the type of TV shows you watch, or even just by the person on the corner, the person across the street, right? And I think that's another reason why I say it's one and the same, because entertaining and influence isn't just limited to entertainers. You know what I'm saying?
This is 100% facts.
So yeah.
And even you bringing up that point alone, right, which is an interesting thing, because all the people that we look up to, as entertainers or athletes or whatever, they were influenced by somebody who may not have had that same kind of success or that same kind of notoriety, right?
Yeah.
So that being like, the world's greatest basketball player can be influenced by just a hooper in a city who was, he was just a hooper in the city, right?
Yeah.
But now, basketball player A is the man, and he got the fadeaway jumper, and now you influenced by that, but not knowing that was influenced by a regular dude on a
yeah.
like on on one of the local courts or something like that, or a musician saying a word or something like that. That's a word from the local hustler, like.
Yeah.
But now Kanye saying it, or Drake saying it, or somebody like that, now you think it's cool, not knowing it come from.
Not knowing where it come from.
It's an interesting thing, like when you kind of dive down the rabbit hole, just to see like how many people, like whether you up here, down here, in the middle, or whatever the quote unquote status is, like that you really can have a tremendous influence on whoever, whenever, and wherever.
Yeah. No matter what you're doing. And that's why I think we have a responsibility to our community to look at how we dress, how we walk, how we talk, how we present ourselves, our thumbprint on the internet. You know what I'm saying? I was My bad.
No, you all good. You good.
I was chilling with this girl the other day, right? And her little sister had remade all of her TikToks, right? And I'm like, thank God, the girl not on there doing nothing crazy, right? Well, I don't want to say crazy, but not doing anything that's like.
Oh yeah, I got you. I'm following.
You know what I'm saying? So, and in that moment, I said, wow, like, this is influence, right? Like the girl not trying to be famous. She just get on TikToks, have fun, make some funny little TikToks or whatever. And then she said, yo, my little sister like is remaking just about every TikTok I make. Right. And that had me think. And we have to be intentional as not only as, as an entertainer, as an influence, as a whatever you want to call yourself. Now you're on a heightened platform, right?
Sure.
So whether you have 1,000 followers, 5,000, 10,000, a million, whatever, you're on a heightened platform and there are people that are looking at you, right? And I think it's really just important to be intentional about the way you carry yourself. I'm not saying lie and become this fake version of yourself, but I am saying, now that you say entertainment influence, I'm starting to understand more like, it's important to be intentional. It's important to carry yourself a certain way because if this girl got like 30 followers on TikTok and her little sister remaking everything, imagine what you can do with this podcast.
For sure.
Right? Imagine what I can do with my music or with my films or whatever,
Okay, so that's a great segue, actually. I want to ask you now, have you made art like, in the past or currently making art now with that in mind? That idea of when I make this song, when I step on set to act in this scene, or if I'm writing this script or whatever it is that you're doing artistically, right? Do you think about that when you do that? Or is that something that you haven't thought about and that you will think about going into future works?
It's definitely something that I thought about. I always had, first, my father was my first great teacher. He was a musician, but he didn't show that side or whatever. But my first great teaching from my father was, you represent me, right? You represent this last name, Harris.
Absolutely.
It's not just, you're not just walking out here just willy-nilly by yourself, but you're a representation of me, right? So growing up like that, it was always like, okay, cool. And it wasn't like there was any extra pressure, like, oh my gosh, it was like, okay, cool. Like, I don't want to be out here doing this and doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because, your parents do make it seem like they got eyes everywhere. So you are.
That's what they do.
And then it's like you do one little thing and then they find out and you're like, how they find out? So now for me, it wasn't like, man, I want to be rebellious. It was, man, okay, cool. Like, I want to dress good. I want to look good. I want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be out here, selling drugs or getting into fights or whatever. Because, my first great teacher, who was my father, you represent me, right? Then my other great teachers who came into my life, in the beginning of my teenage years, who were vocal coaches and artist development coaches and choreographers and stuff like that. I felt a responsibility to them, right? And this is before I felt a responsibility to the world, but I felt a responsibility to them from all the work that we were putting in to be good on stage. You know what I'm saying? To look good, to sound good, to do good, right? And then as an entertainer, I felt my responsibility to the fans or to whoever came to see me at the time to give them a good show, because you never know what anybody's going through, right? You never. One of my coaches, he always told me, he said, the show isn't for you, right? Because, when you're young and you're starting entertainment or whatever, you just fame, money, whatever, and you kind of are. At least I was kind of a little self-indulgent, like, listen, I can sing, I can dance, like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But he said, it's not for you. It's for that nurse who had to look at 5 people die last night. And this is her first night off in 2 months. And she didn't she hasn't been able to spend time with her kids, but she said, listen, it's a Friday night. Let me go. I need a release. This is for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's for that lawyer that's probably having fights with your spouse because they got to put in so much time at work, but they try to save somebody's life. You know what I'm saying? They trying to save a young man's life from going to jail or whatever the case may be. It's for that. You know what I'm saying? And then it went from that to understanding, okay, like I have to be intentional because the people who, like, I didn't always get to see what was new and what was cool because my father was older, right?
Right.
So I was looking at a lot of old school stuff, listening to a lot of old school music, and even my mother, she was really like, my mother was younger than my father, but my mother was into like a lot of old school stuff, right? So the stuff that I was watching between the two of them, it was a very intentional generation, right? Like it was very like maybe a little too intentional. You know what I'm saying? Like they were media training.
Yeah.
You wasn't saying something. If you said something wrong, it was getting edited out. It was getting right. But also they had a sense of self-worth and a sense of community that was bigger than what a lot of us have today, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, with me putting all that together, then I realized, oh, I have a responsibility to the youth, right? And I realized that through my nieces and through my nephew, I have a responsibility to the youth. And when I have taught before, I have a responsibility to the youth. I have a responsibility to my peers because, like, you inspire me, I inspire you. This conversation can change the course of somebody's life. It's never too late, right? And my friend King always say that it's never too late. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And I have a responsibility to my elders from the work that they not only put in with me, but that they put in with you. You know what I'm saying? That they put in with my brothers and my sister and my aunts and my uncles and whoever, right? That they put in. Like a Sidney Poitier, rest in peace, like a James Brown, like a Michael Jackson, right? All the hours that they put in. A lot of these cats, I got to meet Otis from the Temptations like a couple years ago,
wow.
right? I got to meet him, I got to sing for him, and I shook his hand and I just got chills, right? And I said, yo, this dude, like, they had to go in the back of hotels.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't even enter in the front of the venues that they were performing at. Hundreds of thousands of people coming to see them, and they can't even go into the front. You know what I'm saying? So I do have to be intentional because of the people that went through that. So we can do stuff like this, right? So we, like Maya was telling you about the taco night, open mic or whatever. So we can do stuff like that. So we can, you know, go tour and, you know, be on the big screen and be on Netflix and HBO Max and all this stuff. So everything that I do, I don't want to say everything that I do is intentional, but I do try to have an understanding of what I'm doing, you know, before I do it. You know what I'm saying? I do try to handle it with care and with respect because when I'm creating, I'm not just creating for right now. I'm creating for 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40 years from now. I want people to be inspired by me and not just in the music space, but like, yo, like he was chasing greatness, right? He was allowing greatness to come to him. He was giving his all into what he loved, and he was doing it with respect for himself and, you know, respecting the boundaries that he set for himself and not settling and not, you know, and not giving in. So yeah, I hope that answered your question.
No, for sure. No, it definitely did. No, and you know, just the whole time you was talking, I was just thinking to myself, you know, like, how do I move when I press the record button on the podcast? Like, what's in my mind? Like, what are the intentions that I have? And to answer that question, I always go into each podcast with the intent of knowing that I'm having a conversation. I'm talking to somebody, and whatever we talk about, people are going to listen to. Now, they could either take away some really, really, really good things from the conversation, or they could take away some not so good things about the conversation. But that's up to me as the host of the HolloTalk podcast to kind of dictate where that conversation goes, right? So when I have people on here, I let y'all all know, be yourself, 100%. Right? You can subscribe to that, right? For sure.
Yeah.
Just be yourself 100%. It's a conversation. We're here to have fun, but we're here to talk about, some real topics if those topics do come up, right? Like, let's have fun, but let's, keep it, let's make sure people can get some gems from this, right? Like
Yeah,
you said, you're not doing it just for right now. You're doing it for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. This is always going to be like up here. This is a conversation we had is on record. So
yeah, yeah,
people could go back and listen to this like we do with musical, like, or movies we watch, something like that. You listen to a song 20, 30 years ago, you can still pick out new things from that song 20, 30 years later
yeah,
that, because you're at a different point in your life. Like you might not have
yeah,
understood it at 12, but you
yeah,
understand it at 22. You feel me?
yeah,
You don't understand it
yeah,
at 22, but you understand at 32.
yeah, that's a fact.
So that's one of the thoughts that I always go into having these conversations with people. Like I always think about that, and I always try to have a conversation that has a lot of depth to it and something that people can feel like, yo, I really, really took something good away from this conversation, and I'm interested to hear what more they got to talk about next time.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a
Yeah.
fact. And when I say stuff like that, I don't want anybody to feel as though I'm saying it like, oh well, you can't make music or make films about having a good time or whatever. Da, da, da. No, but if you're doing that, be intentional. Okay, cool. Like I want to make a party record, right? I want people to have a good time when they're doing this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want everybody to know that everything belongs, everything is necessary, right? Everything is necessary for balance, right? Just as much as we need conversations like this, we need conversations like, yo, man, like I just want to go out this week,
For
right?
sure.
You know what I mean? Like everything is intentional, everything is necessary, but I think walking with intention is just, I don't know, it just hit a little different.
No, and like, you was kind of like alluding to a point where, like, everything doesn't have to be like the same. Like, everything doesn't have to be monotonous. Like it don't got to be, the same thing over and over and over again. You got to have house party, you got to have Friday, but you also got
Yeah,
to have, like
Malcolm
boys,
X.
yeah, Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying? Then you got to have your boys in the hood, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
you got to have all of these things that tells the entire story. The
yeah,
story isn't just one thing. It's not just one chapter in a book. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
that's the fact.
it's layers and layers and different levels and different things that you begin to uncover as you experience life, as you go on, get older and, meet different people or whatever the requirement is. Having that level of representation and storytelling is imperative for people to grow and be all that they could be and reach the fullest potential that they possibly could reach.
Yeah, that's a fact.
you know so like that, like I said, when I come on a podcast, I don't just talk to artists, you know what I mean? Like, of course I talk to artists, I talk to creatives alike, but I also got professors on here, I got athletes on here,
Yeah,
and all the conversations don't always surround exactly what you guys do, right? Like,
yeah,
which like we talking about, art and music and, creative spaces, but it's going more into a life kind of conversation. So, like,
yeah,
I always try to get the perspective of whoever it is on the podcast and, kind of figure out what their worldview is, figure out what their world perspective is, because you're more than just an artist, you're more than just a musician, you're more than just an actor, you're a person who goes through life and has different experiences that you can talk about and people can actually learn something from you from. Like, if I want to know about music, I mean, sure, I'll ask you, but like, what else do you know? Like, you know what I mean? And I
yeah,
think,
yeah, that's a
and I feel like, that's important for y'all as artists, or I'll include myself too, because I do podcasts, but
yeah, yeah, that's
but
an
I'll
art.
include myself. Like, I think it's important just for people in general to have that space to kind of have a 360 view of themselves as a person, or people wanting to know all about them. Like, you probably get tired about people just asking you about music all day. You
No,
know what I mean?
I love music. I love music, so I can talk about it all
Oh,
day.
wait, I mean, but
But I get what
yeah,
you're
you
saying.
get, yeah, right, right. You gotta follow me. You can't let the
Yeah,
people know we're not on
I
the
get
same
what you're
page. No.
saying.
But yeah, like, people just get tired of talking about the same things over and over
But
again.
it's more to life.
Yeah.
But also, I think for me, I see these things. I see life being everything, right? Like not just being everything art wise, but life is teaching. Life is playing sports. Life is like Rico Love, who is like this phenomenal songwriter, he says, anything you do is everything you do. Right? Which is so deep to me, because then I look at somebody who plays sports like a LeBron James, right? Who takes his sleep so serious, bro. He's sleeping like 16 hours a day, right? Okay, he takes his craft serious. When he's in the gym, he's serious. Okay, so when he's in life, you don't hear nothing, you know what I mean? Like, he's a good father, good husband, man, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because he understands that greatness isn't just on that court. You know what I'm saying? Greatness is in everything we do, man. Like, even somebody like a Chris Brown, he understands greatness isn't just on that stage. He's given to communities. You know what I'm saying? He's writing, like, of course, we talk about his songs like Loyal and all this other stuff, but he's writing songs bearing his soul and,
For sure.
telling people follow your dreams and all that stuff, right? Even Kanye, like, and Kanye is like, yo, I'm fly, whatever. But he making songs like Touch the Sky.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's making songs like Stronger, like, Jesus Walks or whatever. It's like, I think that, as I go further on this life journey, I realize it's all connected in so many crazy ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, music isn't just music, right? Somebody who's an artist
That's a fact.
artist. Like, somebody, like, man, when I dance, I'm not just dancing, I'm telling a story, because sound is movement. Because bro, quite literally, like, on a scientific level, sound is movement. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so I'm embodying that sound just through dance or whatever. So that's why I say I can talk about music all day, because when I'm talking about lyrics, when I'm talking about chord progressions, when I'm talking about drum patterns, whatever, vocal production, whatever, I'm seeing the life in that. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing the love, the compassion, the empathy. You know what I'm saying? And all that. And even as an actor, right? Like, the biggest thing an actor can do is be empathetic. That's like not learn Shakespeare, not do 2,000 plays before they do a movie or whatever. It's being empathetic. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the reason. I know that's the reason why I love the art so much, is because it taught me all this stuff, like empathy and vulnerability and structure, discipline. You know what I mean? I learned all this stuff from the arts. It wasn't, and I think all these things are great tools to have in your life,
Okay, so then let me ask you this question. Like, when you do your art, and this could be for acting, music, one specifically is your choice. Which story are you trying to tell when you making your art?
When I'm making music, I'm trying to tell my story. Okay. Whatever that story is, I'm telling it, right? Whether it's heartbreak, whether it's love, whether it's lust, whether it's, being on an ambitious journey, whether it's finding myself, whether it's finding beauty in some girl's eyes or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. That's the story I'm telling when I make music. You know what I mean? When I'm acting, I'm trying to tell the story of the people who can't tell their own story, right? Of the I have a film called Victor coming out. I think we're going to release it in February.
Okay.
And it's about a homeless dude who basically trying to get right, trying to get enough money to see his son and all that stuff, and really is just trying to do right, trying to figure it out. I'm not homeless, right? I've never been homeless. I mean, I've been like in transition, right? But I've never been that down bad where I was in a tent on the street,
right?
Never, right? But for me, not on no boasting, oh my gosh, I'm a savior. But it's like I felt like I had to tell that story, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a story about a man trying to figure it out, trying to get it right, right? Like, I may not be able to relate to all that all the time, but God gave me the gift to act, so I can tell these stories, right? Like, I've told I've been able to do plays, I've been able to do short films, everything, right? And every time I'm not playing Lee, I'm playing somebody else whose story needs to be told. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And I believe as actors, that's our job, is to really bring life and empathy and awareness to these stories that aren't our own, you know? And music, our job is to bring light and awareness and empathy to stories that are our own. For one, for therapy for ourselves, and two, because you can listen to a song from the 70s and still relate to it.
For sure.
You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
And it still helps you out. It's like, okay, cool. Like I know I'm going through that. Then you get to the bridge and they say, well, this is how I resolve this problem. Right? Like that's when that's why I'm making music, So yeah.
Yeah, and to kind of go back to what you were saying, about like, just trying to tell stories of people who possibly can't tell their own story, you being able to have the ability to tell that through your art. That's important too. And for me personally, like that's important because we all know people who are going through these things or are
Yeah.
the subject of whatever it is that we're about to portray, whether that's musically or acting wise, so I think that's like a real important piece of it. Like everybody knows somebody that is that person. So
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say you have to be because nobody has to do anything, but it would be a good thing for everybody to be empathetic to those situations because you see it, you know
Yeah.
what it looks like, you know what it smells like, you know what it feels like. You know what I mean?
And I think in general too, in life, right? What I'm learning is, how at times, like when we're teenagers or whatever, we're so hard on our parents because that's when we realize everything that we lack, right? In comparison to other people.
Yeah.
Not, I think before we become teenagers, we're not really focused on what we lack, right? We just focus on not just having fun, but we just focused on the day by day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you get older, you get more conscious, you get better at having conversation, and you get more like, oh dang, like I ain't had that growing up. Dang, whatever, right? I mean, like our parents, right? But in film, we see the story. We don't just see the demise. We see the rise. We see the fall. We see the this. We see the that. And for me, I'm bringing that up because for me, that helped me be more empathetic towards my parents. And I'm not saying that I had a bad childhood at all, but my parents and okay, cool. So it wasn't just this. It wasn't just that. There was a work up to that. There's something that they went through. There's, because when I'm doing my character research, this character, every character has a different given circumstance. Everybody has a different given circumstance, right? Like my coach Mel Williams, he always says like, a rich person seeing $1 on the ground versus somebody who's on his last dime seeing $1 on the ground is going to view that dollar completely different.
Yeah.
Same situation, just two different given circumstances. You know what I mean? So being an actor, it's my job to show the rise, the fall, to show the whole story of why somebody got to where they got, right?
Yeah.
And in these films, you're able to see that and you're able to become more empathetic, right? Like you're able to become more empathetic by watching the Temptations movie, by watching the Jacksons movie, by watching American Gangster, by watching this, by watching that, right? You see, it's not like you see somebody selling drugs isn't just selling drugs because they want to. At least not for the most part.
Right.
You see somebody who's as insane as it is, who's out here and probably like just killing people, whatever. It's probably so deep rooted. It's probably so much deeper than you think it is, right? Like you see the extreme highs and the extreme lows, and you see that in order to get to either or, you don't just get there by being there. Something works up to that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. So yeah.
No, I'm 100% following you. But that brings me to another question. You portraying this art, or you making this art, right? I should say. Do you feel a sense of pressure to get it right? and do it justice, or you don't really feel that pressure? It's just, I know what the assignment is. Let's just get it done.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel the pressure. I feel the pressure because of myself, because I know how successful I'm going to be.
For sure.
Right. And I know the type of work that I want to put out there, whether it's music or film. Right. Like, I know the type of work that I know the type of regard that I want to be held to. You know what I'm saying? So there's pressure on that end. Also, there's pressure from I'm pressured from those who come before me, those who I'm coming after, those who I'm coming before, those who I'm, my peers and stuff like that. Because there's a lot of greatness in this world. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And even though comparison is the thief of joy, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're like, dang, this dude's spinning like this. Like, I gotta get my spins cleaner. Dang, this dude hitting this run. I gotta get my runs cleaner. I gotta. All that is pressure. Like, me wanting to get it right is pressure, right? But also me realizing that there is no right or wrong is so conflicting to me, because you know what I'm saying? Because
that's true.
There's no one way to do anything, so I do feel the pressure, but I also don't feel the pressure. It depends on the day. I can feel a whole bunch of pressure one day, and the next day I'm like, listen, man, I'm just here to tell the truth. But that's what I'm working towards, is just, getting to a point where, hey, I'm just here to express and, give my art. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, okay, it's like I'll speak to that for myself just a little bit, just to kind of give another side of it. So, so me personally, I wouldn't say that I feel too much pressure to be successful in like what I do, or at least not at the moment, because it was points in times where it was like, I got to get it done by any means necessary. Like, if I don't get it done by this time or whatever, I'm a failure. Like that was a thought process in my head. But as I, as I grew and evolved and, started achieving some of those goals I had set for myself, I took a step back and was like, maybe I might be ahead of I might be ahead of schedule. Like, I don't know what the schedule looks like, because it's up to a higher being and the work that I put in, but the work that I'm putting in, I might be ahead of schedule. So let me not burn myself out and, fuck it up completely. And then like when I come on a pod, most of the time I'm talking to people who I've never talked to before. Like, like me and you had a couple of conversations off the record, but this is our first time talking on record. So, it's no telling like what this conversation could go like. And so far it's going phenomenally, if I say so myself.
No, that's a fact.
I didn't feel pressure coming on here to talk to you, because I knew, for one, I was coming in with great intentions. The whole objective is to have a tremendous conversation to let you get your thoughts and ideas off and to make you look as good as possible on it, right?
Yeah.
So going in with that thought process, I'm like, oh, I'm good. I just need my man to have a back and forth conversation with me, and everything else is smooth, whether I've talked to you for a long time or this is my first time talking to you. I don't really feel that much pressure anymore to get it right, because what does getting it right look like?
But that's for me, that's what I'm working myself up to, right? Like, because you just said something that was key. Like, you said, I'm coming in with great intentions.
For sure.
That's it. You coming in with great intent. That's all you can do. You got what, like 4 seasons of the podcast now?
Yeah. This is season 4. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you got 3 completed seasons of the podcast. Your season, you know what you're doing. You know how to ask these questions. You know how to reach out. You know how to.
I kind of know what I'm doing.
After 3 seasons of doing something.
No, for sure.
You got a good idea of doing what you.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And you're like, yo, like, I'm coming in with great intentions. Whatever happens, happens. I know on my part, I'm solid enough. You know what I'm saying? And that's, for me, that's what I'm working myself up towards, because I understand that I'm coming in with great intentions, but I also just put a whole bunch of, I'm just keeping it a being at this point. Like, I put a whole bunch of unnecessary pressure on me, even though I do have an understanding of, listen, all I can do is come in, one, prepared, and 2 with great pure intentions. You know what I'm saying?
You beat me to it. I was about to say the only thing I could suggest people do with any situation is be as prepared as possible and
Yeah,
come in with great intentions. Because if you got both of those things, if anything goes wrong outside of that, you don't have the stress and the pressure of saying, damn, what if I'd have did something different? What if I'd have
yeah,
prepared more? What if I would have, did this, that, and the third? Like
yeah,
at that point, it's not on you. You did all that you could possibly do, whether that's like, in physical form or like, divinely, like you did everything you could possibly do to make this shit go right. And if it doesn't, that's because of somebody else or it just wasn't meant to happen. And you just
yeah.
gotta live with that, just knowing that you did the best that you could possibly do.
And you know what else is crazy though? One thing that I'm getting over, one thing that I'm learning is that life is a combination of moments, right? Life isn't just, oh, all right, I make it. I got the Grammy. All right, I got the house. It's life goes on after that too, right?
Yeah.
So, I think sometimes when you have the pressure in the back of your mind, and it's all self-inflicted or whatever, it's all in our subconscious. I think you automatically think, dang, like, I gotta get this right. If I don't get this right, there is no nothing next. Like, bro, especially coming from where we coming from, bro, there is not much of anything for us on the positive for us to see, right? Like me living in LA, I see, okay, cool. Like people can go down the street and 95% of the time see somebody famous.
Yeah, that shit different.
Somebody filming. See a Lamborghini, see a Maserati, see a whatever. Nigga, we in West, you know what I mean? Like, we not seeing that, bro.
For sure.
It looked like war when we go outside, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it can be the most beautiful day ever, but the streets is looking like war, bro. Like
crazy.
It's like we're like, at least growing up, we not seeing that much positivity, right? We're not seeing that much of a chance. So when we do anything, me personally, I can only speak on me, but when I do anything, it's like sometimes in the back of my mind, I'm like, all right, this is my shot. I gotta get it right. And if I don't get it right, I'm like, dang. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But now I'm working myself up to a point where I'm understanding, listen, if I don't get it right, that's fine. Because there's been plenty of times when I didn't get it right, whether it was in school, you don't get this one test right, you can get that next test right? Whether it was with women, this relationship messed up, all right, it's another one, right?
I ain't gonna hold you. We all need help on that.
No,
but we all need help on that situation.
No, but I'm saying like that's real. You know what I'm saying?
That's 100% true.
Or even just a situation with my parents where like, yo, I ain't washed the dishes right. I ain't take out the trash on time. Dang, like, is this like sometimes I think about everything as life or death. You know what I'm saying? So
which is tough to do, and that shit ain't healthy at all. That shit is not healthy.
It's not helping at all. So it's like when I get to my art, when I get to just my life in general, I know I'm working myself up to a point by, praying and meditating and reading books and reading scripture and all that stuff and journaling and all that stuff to get to a point where I'm like, all right, cool. Like the next moment is coming. Because like I said, there's been plenty of times when I messed up, when I ain't get a step right, when I ain't get a song right the first studio session, when I ain't get a shot right the first take. You know what I'm saying? But then there's other takes, and like that's why you rehearse. Okay, you didn't get the step right today, but you got to rehearse for tomorrow. You're gonna get the step right. You know what I'm saying? Dang, I ain't hit this note. I ain't hit this note in this vocal lesson or in this show, or whatever. But that I can practice and get it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't get this shot right the first time. Oh, I get more than one shot on set, right? And I understand that, but now it's time to internalize that and okay, cool. Like, and I think for me also, I don't want to get lazy. I don't want to get lax. I don't want to I never wanted to allow myself the time to mess up. I started making music and stuff when I was like 10, bro. And I started performing when I was like 13. Like I started really performing consistently when I was 13, right? So everybody, oh my gosh, you're so young. Oh my gosh, you got nothing but time. I never, even though they were telling me that, I never wanted to get lazy and allow myself the time to mess up. Right. So everything was so much pressure to me because I didn't want to allow myself to, oh, you're young. I didn't want that to get to my head. You know what I'm saying? And I'm now it's carrying into my adulthood. Okay, cool. I don't want to allow myself that time. But like I said, bro, I'll be on set. You got another take. I'm recording in the studio. You got another take. I'm performing a song. Oh, I messed up right here. I can literally watch the video. Oh, I know where I messed up at and do better the next show. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
So yeah, so that's what I'm working on right now for me personally.
No, yeah, and like, I mean, even me too. Like, a year ago, I wouldn't even have told you what I told you now because I wouldn't have been in that kind of mind state. You know, I was like, yo, we got to get it done now. Like, we got to get the M's tonight. Like,
tonight, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, you know, I don't got time to be waiting a year, 2, 5, 10 years. I need to get them tonight, and then once I get them, we can figure all that out after. Like, you know, like that was my thought. Cause you know, like going into certain situations, you know, like I got the talent. I see people, you know, that like they got it. But I'm better than that person. Like I think I'm more talented than them. If I had that,
though, right?
No, for sure. And like and not on no hating type of time. It's just that's just natural.
It's always on something like
that's natural. Like
especially as a man, bro. You like
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, cool, whatever. But I think being out in LA, bro, I realized, yes, you might naturally be more talented than somebody. Right? Yes, you might be able to do something better than somebody, but it's always something more. Or even just think about my own career, right? I know better singers, I know better dancers, I know better this, I know better that. And I know so many people that probably, I'm better than Lee Harris. I'm better than the people. I've had friends. I remember I did this talent show, right? And I had won second place. And my friend didn't place. He has one of the most amazing voices I ever. Well, obviously he wasn't a friend if I'm telling you the story, but had one of the most amazing voices. You know what I'm saying? And he said, I should have beat you. He ain't placed. My performance was better than you. But he ain't know. I've been rehearsing since I was 13.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He ain't know, he don't know in when I'm rehearsing, an hour before I even get to a song and dance, I'm doing push-ups and jumping jacks and crunches, and I'm running and singing in place for 30 minutes. And he ain't know none of that. All he knew is my natural talent might, in my mind, is better than yours, right?
Right.
So even that, bro, like once you're on one level in the podcast game, but then once you start getting more sponsorships and you start getting this and you start getting that, you're like, dang, this is a lot. This is something that I couldn't even prepare for. You know what I'm saying?
If I could just stop you real quick.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
And that right there is the exact reason why I slowed myself down and was like, I'm probably ahead of schedule anyway. So let me not push myself to the point where I get to where I think I want to be and I'm not fucking ready for it. And then I get there and then I got to go back and start at square one because I wanted to rush to get somewhere that I was already ahead of schedule on anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, let me just chill. Like, bro, this is season 4, right? And, you know, like, see, this season ain't come out yet, but when it comes out, you know, people will understand. So 4 seasons, right, will be done in a year and a half, 2 years. That shit sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Like, saying it out loud, that shit sounds crazy to me.
Yeah.
4 seasons in a year and a half or 2 years at the most.
Yeah.
Come on now. Like, like I think I'm ahead of schedule. You feel me? Like, it's just, you know, I'm at this point, the content is there. You know, I'm putting in the hard work, dedication each season. I'm adding something different, whether it's, you know, me doing it on video, you know, versus me doing it just audio, or, you know, me changing up the presentation or getting better, you equipment or whatever the new thing is that I implement in the new season, right? I'm always progressing and I'm always getting better. So me doing that and also still providing quality content at the clip I'm providing it at, I'm just waiting for everything to come together to propel me to where I know I should be.
Yeah, that's a fact, bro. Because even I went to school for acting. I've been doing acting like theater stuff since I was 14 or whatever. I've been, you know what I'm saying, like artist development, vocal lessons, this, and that, and performed over so many times, and you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still like there's always something, even though you did all that you could do, there's always something that you couldn't prepare for.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying, bro? And it's always something that you don't know, bro. Like you might think somebody might think they're a better actor than somebody on TV, but they don't know they've been in the industry since they was 4.
Mm-hmm.
So they know how to talk to these agents. They know how to get the best business deals. They know how to do this. They know how to do that. This is stuff that you ignorant to. You just know about the talent portion.
Yeah, you don't know about the other stuff that you got to do.
And you can't find it on YouTube
at all.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what they say. It's not what you know, it's who you know.
It's who,
in some of those cases. Yeah,
it's so much more stuff, bro. And it's like it's just so much more stuff. So once you get to a different level, there's a nuance in that different level that you could only get by getting to this level.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
That's very important to put out there.
Cause bro, like people like, oh, I'm better than LeBron. Oh, I was better than Kobe in my day. All right, play in front of 100,000 people.
Exactly.
With the best players in the world, in all of America, in all of the world.
Yeah, the world. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? From all the, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's not even college level no more. This is
right.
Literally the best players in the world,
mm-hmm.
all on this one court.
Yeah.
You think you can still be LeBron?
Yeah, that shit is so important to like to try to make people understand, because like of course like people who not in anything or whatever, they can be like, yo, I could get on a podcast and do this shit for I could talk to a stranger for 2.5, 3 hours, like okay, like
yeah, go ahead.
I just need you to understand, like when we doing this, I'm doing this cold, cold feet. I haven't talked to this person, but we on here for 3 hours and they talking to me about shit that they wouldn't even tell their closest friends, like, because I made them feel that comfortable. I don't know if you got that. I don't know if you got that in you, my boy. Like, you might be nice, but like, I'm like that, and I got the work ethic to back it up also. So no disrespect to you, but I'm him, like
you study,
not on no cocky, like
no, but it's real,
whatever,
bro.
but like
good at what you do.
I trust my ability to make it happen when that red light come on. You probably can see it too, but that red light that's on, when that come on, we ready to roll and we ready to do our thing for however long we on here for. We gonna have a great conversation, and I'm also putting in the work to make it go as smooth as possible. And all the things that you see I post on social media about the pod, we putting in work, like seriously. And no disrespect to anybody that's doing their thing or whatever, but everybody wants to feel like, oh, I'm better than this person, I'm better than that person. And in some cases that may be 100% true, that may be 100% facts. You can't debate it, you can't dispute it. But the most talented people haven't always been the most successful for a lot of reasons, whether they came in too cocky, not humble enough, didn't had the work ethic to match that talent, or was just evil spirited. Like there's a lot of reasons that a lot of people are successful and a lot of people aren't. You kind of just got to find your place, find your niche, and hone it as good as you possibly can while being as intentional and as I don't even know what the word was I used, but like just like intentional and just have it all together. Just try to do it as true as possible.
Yeah, have everything together that you can get together.
Yeah,
and I think that's why focusing on oneself is important, because at the end of the day, that's all, like you said, that's all you can control, is you having that great spirit, is you having that work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, bro, like just being in LA, bro, like moving from Philly to LA, bro, you realize like, dang, okay, this is what I was doing in Philly. This was cool. but now I'm in LA. Dang. Like on top of I went to the set of this movie, right?
Yeah.
And of course, like I said, like I got stamina, I've been training, whatever. It was a musical movie, and I want to be in a musical movie one day, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've done musicals, I've done, 2-a-day shows and performed all week in a musical and all that stuff, right? But these cats was doing a number at least 20 times back to back. You do that in Philly, come on, bro, like you drawn. Out here, all right, bet, boss. Let me wipe me off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one more time. All right, let's go. Smiling on their faces and everything. That's a different type of stamina. You know what I'm saying?
A different type.
That's
of
a different type of mental
different
stamina.
type of discipline.
That's not just all right. Like I'm the hottest. I'm the hottest ball on the block. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not that. That's okay, cool. Like that's professionalism.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a different type of work ethic, bro. And when I saw that, I said, okay, cool. Like I got the talent to be up there, but now I gotta get that stamina. And that's more than just my physical. That's my mental. I gotta be ready to, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course, I'm on go at all times, but now I gotta be ready. If I say I want to do a musical movie one day, I gotta be ready to do this one take 20 times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With just a little bit of water and keep that smile on my face and still look good and still be sharp, still be clean. You know what I'm saying? And that was a big inspiration for me because I'm like, in Philly, we work hard, but LA is like, and I'm not just saying LA is just an example, but going anywhere where there's a concentration on what you do, and there's intention to take it to the highest level in any one area. You know what I'm saying? You learn so much more than you did when you just was, in your comfort zone, growing and developing yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like you said, bro, like anybody think they can do a podcast?
I mean, that's evident. Everybody got one.
Everybody got one. Me and my friends, we about to start one. But
yeah.
but also me and my friends have been entertainers for years and been interacting with people. We talk to people, we learn stuff from people, we study, we do this, we do that, right? Like we understand it's more than just, just getting on here and asking questions and talking about yourself and laughing around. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot more than that, bro, because you gotta edit the videos,
yeah,
you gotta market, you gotta come up with a plan, you gotta do this. You have a lot, and you a one-man band, right?
No, I mean, I'm hands-on with everything. I'll say that I'm hands-on with everything, but I do got a few people who I trust to make this all that it could be, and that's another thing I wanted to make a point to for sure. Like with anything that you do, is make sure you got some people around you that really believe, and it don't have to be believe in what you're doing, but just believe in you. Because if they invest in you, then eventually they'll believe in what you're doing, like whatever it is. So shouts out to the HolloTalk podcast team. Y'all know who y'all are. I appreciate y'all 100%. But to answer your question, I'm hands-on with everything too.
Having to kind of dictate what other people do in accordance to your vision.
Yeah, which is a skill. It's a skill, and it's a tough skill to learn because one, you gotta have patience. You gotta be very patient with trying to figure out what the vision is, how to implement the right pieces to make that vision come together, and then also see it come to fruition. It's especially having the thought like the mindset that I had like a year ago or something like that. No, we got to get these M's tonight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't got no time to wait. Like, I see people 23, 24, 25 out here getting it. Like, I need to be like them, and that might not be the story for me at the moment. Maybe I get them M's at 30. Like, who knows? But
and that's fine.
That's fine. As long as I get them.
Like, and I think that's another thing that I learned too, bro. Like, I don't just want it right now. I want it for the rest of my life.
I want to have it at the end. And I said this on one of my other episodes too, where I was like, like we talk about the people who had it. Like, okay, I commend you for having it at some point, but I really want to know, do you got it now? Are you
Yeah.
sustaining it? Are you adding to it? Can you pass it down? Like
Yeah.
those are the important things that I think comes with achieving success, but also maintaining success and growing it, whether that's, like money or just, career or whatever it is. Like I want to see you be successful at the end also when you 90, 100 years old or however old you be. Like
Yeah.
that's the important thing.
Yeah. And I think at least that's what I'm learning is the key thing because, like I always say, comparison is is the thief of joy.
For
You know
sure.
what I'm saying? But also it's like you looking at people and you realistically don't know if they're gonna be that much more up
Mm-hmm.
than you 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Y'all either gonna be on the same playing field or somebody's gonna be lower. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Somebody's gonna be lower, somebody's gonna be higher. But at the end of the day, if you focus on you and what you got and how to better what you got, I don't think you can lose. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, bro, I don't want to just be rich at 23. Oh yeah, and then before you, I mean, I remember when I was 23, bro. I used to
Yeah, I
get
told you,
everything.
50 told you, damn, homie. Shit, in high school, you was the man, homie. The fuck
No,
happened to
for
you?
real,
Like, that's real
bro.
talk.
And I think that's at least to me, that's legacy. Like I said, 10, 20,
Yeah,
30,
that's the
40.
word right there. There you go.
That's what I want, bro. Like if I do have kids one day, I want my kids not to worry, man. I want my nieces and my nephew not to worry. I want my mom to be cool. You know what I'm saying? And not just cool when I get that big movie or sign that record deal or whatever. But I want her to be cool for the rest of her life. You know what I'm saying? I want my brothers to be able to call me and be like, yo, bro, like, yeah, I mean, I need whatever. And me giving them whatever isn't me taking a hit. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And that's not just money, but that's bro, like
Anything.
I have resources now.
Mm-hmm.
What you want to do? You know what I'm saying? And I have built these relationships. So now they're strong to the point where, oh, you want to start a trucking company? You want to do this? All right, bet. I got a mentor for you right now.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the goal for me, man, is sustainability, legacy, longevity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Like
So if it take me another
legacy
five
is a
to ten
big word.
years, that's cool.
Listen, man. Like I said, as long as you get to it, I want to ask you another question. I know we rolling, but I want to ask you one question. So, um, how has networking been for you? Like I said, I know you just said you recently moved out to LA from Philly, and you're in an industry where some people show you love and mentor you and kind of put you on game, where some people be like, nah, because I don't want you to take my spot. But how has it been for you as far as networking and getting mentorship and things like that in the entertainment industry?
Um, since I didn't realize that I started so young, right? And now I'm still young. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So with that, I went through a lot, but I'm glad that I went through a lot of stuff younger than what I am now because in my early years I was naive. I I was always smart, but I didn't necessarily know when somebody was being real, when somebody was being fake, when somebody was, you know what I'm saying? And I still carry that out. But at first it was difficult, right? Because I was grinding so hard, like, bro, I was like 13, 14, working jobs and, doing whatever I could to get some money so I could go to the studio,
Right.
so I could go rehearse, so I could go do that. And older people saw that and took advantage of that. Oh, all right, like I know he's gonna find a way to get this money. Let me charge him, da da da. Right? I'm thinking I'm networking and building relationships, and they try and get a bag. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Which everybody trying to get a bag. I can't fault anybody for that, but that was their sole purpose, right? So after a few years of that, I had to learn, okay, cool. Everybody doesn't genuinely have my best interest at heart. You know what I'm saying? And so with that, I'm sorry, I'm a little.
No, you all good. You good.
But so with that, I had to learn how to move differently, right? But also with me being young and not really having like a manager, not really having parents who were like, all right, man, we're gonna go out with you to every show and stuff like that. I had to learn how to speak up for myself and articulate what I wanted. I think that's a big thing in networking is knowing yourself and knowing the direction that you're going in. I don't think that when networking, you should go into anything saying, hey, like, just guide me. You know what I'm saying? I think you should go into, hey, this is what I got. This is what I'm bringing to the table. And, how can we move forward? But I had to develop that skill over time. You know what I'm saying? Um, Also, I utilize the internet a lot. I've met some of the greatest talents that I can think of over the internet, and just articulating to them that not only am I a fan of what they do, but I want them to contribute to what I do. You know what I'm saying? I want us to come together and create something big, create something amazing, and just understanding how to do that in a tasteful way. And am I answering your question?
No, yeah, you are.
Okay. And just in terms of transferring it to transferring like that Philly mentality at like
You good.
Okay. But yeah, transferring that to Philly, I mean to LA, it's like I think one of the biggest things when it comes to networking is you having your own foundation, you having your own work ethic, you having your own sense of self, because once you meet and network with other people, they see that. Because you might meet somebody today, like I remember when I was younger, I would get have like record deal meetings or whatever, right? And they might not have been, they might not have seen the vision, right? But me persisting and me not being rude, like, oh, F you don't see the vision, right? That helped me to maintain some relationships, right? So now when they finally do see the vision, also, I'm not waiting for them to see the vision, right? But if they do, they'll have no hesitation saying, yo, I see the vision. Let's get it popping. You know what I'm saying? So to kind of wrap this up, I think before you network, you should be intentional, right? And you should have a good base, a good foundation. You should know what you want, and you should know how to, and you should know what you want, right? You should know the next level of what you want, right? But you should know the basis of what you're doing. Like if you're a singer, you should know how to sing, you should know how to entertain, you should know how to look good, you should know how to do certain things in order to be that, right? That way, once you go out and say, okay, well, I'm gonna go to this mixer tonight, they're gonna have producers and this and that, you can say, hey, this is what I've done for myself. Now I just need somebody to add on to that. You know what I'm saying? But also you need to have patience, and you need to attach everything with no expectations. And understand that you can only control what you do in any situation. You know what I mean? So like if I met you and you say, yeah, bro, I'm gonna have you on my podcast, and a month or 2 months go by and you don't have me on my podcast, I can't say, oh, F you ain't put me on my podcast, because now that's burning the bridge. Maybe you like, dang, like I'm waiting for the perfect time to interview you.
Right.
I'm looking at your success. I'm waiting for you to make that one last move.
Mm-hmm.
That way I can call you in. You know what I'm saying? And you got to understand that it is that. And I don't want to say remove emotion, because everything is personal.
Yeah.
Everything is emotional.
That's a fact.
People like, no, it's not personal. It's not. But you have to remove the thought that you can control somebody with your own. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
You don't control anybody. All you can do is present yourself the best way you can and continue to work and add on to what you got, and not depend on anybody to bring that to fruition. You need to go in there with the mindset of, yes, I want to meet new people and I want to build, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna be working regardless, you know?
Yeah, again, like I know I've said this like numerous times through the conversation, but it fits. What you just said was like a very important thing to highlight, because like even for me, this is something I realized like early in just life. Networking is probably the most important thing that you will do in any aspect of your life, whether that's just making friends or trying to accomplish business. in networking is the number one thing you need to do, because you can't do anything by, I mean, you can do things by yourself, but you can't reach the
Yeah,
levels in which you really want to reach by yourself. Nobody is self-made. Like,
yeah,
people say it, but nobody's self-made,
yeah,
right? Having that ability to network is very important. And also personal development, you being
yeah,
able to develop as a person and have room to grow as you experience new people and new things. That also allows you to grow your network. Just being able to, like, to learn about whatever, like whether it's pop culture or just yourself or whatever the case may be, because that opens your horizons to meet this person who's interested in that, or meet this person that's interested in that. You being able to
yeah,
have that conversation and that interaction, they'd be like, yo, this motherfucker's interesting. Like, let
yeah,
me let me keep him close.
yeah,
And that's something that I learned very, very early, and that's something that I bring with me, throughout life in general.
yeah. No, that's a big thing, man. Like, and also I think like I kept on talking about like resources.
Yeah, there
You
you
know
go.
what I'm saying? And I don't mean to make everything like about God, and well, everything to me is about
No,
God, higher
you
power. You
got
know
it.
what I'm saying?
You got it.
But God not going to give you something until it's time. That don't mean that you're not fit for it, right? But it just might not be time. Like you can meet somebody who's like, you can meet the CEO of Barstool Sports, of Spotify or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and you pitch your podcast to them, and they be like, all right, cool, like, and then they don't hit you up for another 2 years. But in that next 2 years, because you didn't say F this person, in the next 2 years, they offer you 50 mil. Make it happen.
I
Right?
hope so.
No, but I'm saying that happens to people.
It does.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and like you said, that's why personal development is important, because once you know how to talk to people, once you know that people are going to be people, right?
Yeah,
People are going to
yeah,
promise you things, people are going to do this, and people are going to do that. Once you remove that and just say, listen, I'm still open, like, because I'm still open to working with some people, some producers, some directors, some whatever that I may have met that may have not gotten the vision, or may have just not wanted to take a chance on me or whatever. But I know that they're watching. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But part of networking is just making that first impression. That first impression is everything. That first impression is like, okay, cool. What makes them still want to follow me, even if they don't hit me up, even if they just looking? What was going to make them still want to follow me is that first interaction. You know what I'm saying? And once you got them still, if you got somebody, like, people are always watching. They might not tell you that they're watching, but people are always watching. You know what
Definitely,
I'm saying? But
definitely.
if, like you said, if you know that you did what you could and had great intentions, then I don't see why they wouldn't double back and offer you something more. You just can't have the pride to be like, F you, like, you ain't believe the vision.
No, all right.
And we got
Nah, real
something,
rap.
and I never stopped working.
that that
So
that's
that was a whole
that's
different
another
thing.
important thing to highlight too. Gotta stay consistent.
Yeah,
Like, people ask me, yo, like, what separates your podcast from the millions of other podcasts that's out there or that was started? And I'll be like, well, one, I try to make the conversation a conversation, not an interview. Like,
yeah,
everybody that come on the podcast isn't somebody I'm supposed to be interviewing or whatever. Like, of course, like, the people learn about who you are, what you do, who you what you about, and everything. But we just out here chopping up. Like, we
yeah.
talk, and you feel comfortable, or I ain't gonna speak for you. You could tell me if you feel like you
No, yeah,
100%
yeah,
comfortable, like, with the conversation on record and everything, right? That's
yeah,
generally how most people feel. And also, I'm consistent with it. Like, I'm on season 4 in a
yeah,
matter of a year and a half, 2 years. Some people do it for an episode or two and be like, whatever, I'm not rich yet. I'm done.
yeah, yeah,
Staying consistent, staying disciplined, and, like, we keep saying, doing everything with good intentions and genuineness. That is the recipe for success to me.
yeah. To me too, man, because you know everybody will try to say, oh well, it's nepotism. Oh, it's capital. It's this. It's that. It's man. If I feel like you can get anything you want if you start with great intentions.
For sure.
You start with a love for something. You start with a passion for something. and then you go out and you figure out how you can be great at it first, how you can present your, like, you're like a product. And I hate to talk about human beings like that, right? But you're selling yourself. You know what I'm saying? So what in myself can I get great at so far? You know what I'm saying? By myself with the least amount of help. Okay, cool. Bet. Now I got a great foundation. Now I think it's time to branch out. If people don't come to you, it's time to, well, even when people come to you, all right, it's time to branch out. It's time to figure out what's the next level. How can I, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just go from there, man. Just, you know, like I said, just try not to take anything, you know, like such a hit to the heart. Cause I used to take everything as a hit to a heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Try not to take everything as such a hit to a heart, because it really just might not be that time. Timing is everything.
And that's a theme that we frequently mention throughout this whole episode.
Timing is so like, just me living out here now, bro. I was supposed to move out here when I was 17, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and even before then I had acting opportunities, or, well, I had speculations of acting opportunities or music opportunities that I thought would bring me out here, and it all fell through, right? And then once I moved out here at 22, I'm like, oh, I get it now. I see why I couldn't have moved out here when I was 17. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is my light going out? Let me see.
No, you good.
I don't know if that's gonna help much, but
oh, you know, you're good money.
Yeah, no, but you know, timing is everything, bro. So, but you don't realize that timing is everything until you get to that point.
Which again, like I said, you know, earlier, like I'd be like, damn, like what if I'm supposed to be there already? Like, and it might not be that time, and you rushing it is the worst thing you could do, because you get there, you be like, oh, I got everything I want, and then you be like, ooh, I wasn't ready for this shit.
And then you tarnish
exactly.
Whatever, you know what I'm saying? So,
you know, I've seen it too many times through a lot of different mediums, like people who are uber talented, people who are hard workers, they get somewhere, or they're given so much at an early age, or just at the wrong time, I should say, and they fumble it and they can't recover at all. Like, I'm like, yo, I never want that to be me. Like, you know,
that's a fact.
God willing, like I never want that to be me. I want to achieve all the goals that I have set for myself and do it in a way in which I'll be proud of how it happened.
Yeah. And I know for me, I would be so disappointed when I didn't get something, right? Like, because I knew how much work I was putting in. If nobody else knew, I knew how much work I was putting in, how much I sacrificed, how many times my friends is at the mall or at Dorney Park, and I'm at home working on my steps, listening to music, writing songs, practicing my vocals. You know what I'm saying? People going on school trips. I'm homeschooled and I'm writing songs, and I'm traveling to New York to perform, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, right? So I felt entitled to something, right? But then it's like, none of this stuff is promised.
Yeah.
Why you feel entitled? Why don't you just love what you're doing? You know what I'm saying? Why don't you just try to be great at what you're doing and then allow everything else to come, you know? But I wasn't thinking like that at 15, 16, 17.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking like, I need it now.
Listen, bro, I did already told you, like, I need it tonight.
They need to wire that joint right now. Real, but you know, like, as time goes on, I realize, also, me and a couple of my friends always talk about this, but it's like, sometimes it's not that you're missing anything in terms of the product that you're selling, right? Like, it's not like you're missing anything in your podcasting. It's not like, you know, you're not good at what you do. Of course, we can always get better, but
absolutely,
sometimes it's like, do you have the mindset for it? Are you willing to accept everything that's going to come with that, good or bad? Right? Like, sit down and ask yourself that. Are you willing to accept, you know, the business deals, the people that's going to be acting different, trying to get on your podcast, all the things that you can't control? Are you willing to just say, listen, I accept it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
that's a tough thing.
but that's another, like, even if you a doctor, bro, are you willing to accept all the people who you might not be able to save?
Yeah.
That's the only way you're gonna be, as insane as it sounds, that's the only way you're gonna be a great doctor.
No, but it's reality though. Like everything isn't sunshine and rainbows and anything. Like everything. Like I'm pretty sure, and I'll let you speak to it. But I'm pretty sure you had tough days as a performer, as an actor, as a singer, as a writer. Like I'm pretty sure you've had horrible days, horrible interactions with people. But knowing where you want to go and the ultimate goals that you got set for yourself, he was like, that just comes with the territory. It is what it is. I can't let that stop me from getting to where I know I need to be.
Bro, my third job out here, I think it was my third job. It was like my third or fourth job or whatever. I had auditioned for like this, like, you know how you go on an interview and they got you know how you book a job and you go to orientation and they put you on a laptop and they got the person, you know, talk, hey, this is how we do here at this at, you know what I mean? So I had auditioned for something like that, right? So I auditioned for it, whatever. Some time goes by, you know, I'm on to the next audition. They hit me up, yo, we want you on set. Oh, say less, right? And then I get there and I hear some lines that's familiar to me because I knew it from the audition. This white dude booked the job that I had auditioned for, right? And I'm sitting there like, dang, like, bro, why they even bring me on this set? Like, I'm just walking behind people. You know what I'm saying? I'm just an extra. Like, why even? And but that's something that will have people quit.
Yeah, for real.
From some white dude, like, right? But I didn't know he already had the joint. They just was looking for a backup if he couldn't do it.
Right.
And of course, I'm not taking offense to that, but it's like, I'm thinking like, obviously I did good enough if they called me back. Bro, I got there, the director said, Lee, you know what I'm saying? I didn't like that everybody on set already knew who I was from my audition. So I must have did good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If everybody here already know who I am, right? But it's like stuff like that will really make people quit. And, you know, but like I said, it's a part of the territory, bro. And I'd be lying if I said I'm always thinking that, you know, I got it or whatever. But something in me just keeps me going. I don't know what it is. I know part of it is faith, but the other extra thing, I don't know what it is. It's not like I come from a musical family. It's not like I come from money. It's not like I come from seeing success every day. It's not even like on my journey, like I've seen success in my right, but it's not like I've seen like the highest of the highest.
No, right, I got you. I'm following.
You know what I'm saying? But it's something in me that just knows, like, I know who I am. I know what I'm ready for. I know what I have to give to this world, and it just keeps me going no matter what, you know.
Yeah. Listen, man, I see it and I feel it, especially, you know, having a conversation with you, an hour plus long conversation. You know, I see where your mindset is. I see where your head is at, and I don't even got a question with, you know, if the talent is there or not, because it's 100% there.
Yeah,
So
you
know, no, for sure, no, like listen, bro, like, I ain't gonna hold you, like. I like to think I got a good eye and a good ear for talent. So like,
yeah.
you know, I like me telling you that, not just because you my man and nothing like that. Like I truly believe that, and I wouldn't just be putting that out because, like, you know, if I'm saying something's good, you know, that's also my reputation on the line too.
That's
So,
a fact. That's a
you know what I'm saying?
fact.
So like, you know what I'm
You're
saying?
4 seasons deep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You
Like,
can't just
I can't just say something nice and then they be like, I thought it was nice.
right.
Like Nick said, that shit was hard. Like, no, if I'm saying it's nice, man. You know, so
yeah, bro. So it's
sure.
I think you just gotta have that extra thing that keep you going, bro. And I'm not sitting here talking from. It's not like, oh, I'm some Grammy Award winner and no, but just on some just in life, bro. Not even just in your art, bro. In life, like you gotta know, because bro, I know not a lot of people, but I know some people who have thought about taking their lives, bro. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
we hear stories of people who take their lives, right? Not even their lives being taken from them. They take their own lives, bro. because they feel like they're not good enough. They feel as though they don't have nothing else to offer this world, or that the world doesn't have anything else to offer them. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to have that. It's important. Like I feel blessed to have that, because I very well could have probably been plagued with wanting to take my own life. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still here, bro. I'm still strong enough to keep it going. And I think it's important to know that, you know, for anybody watching this who may have had, you know, those thoughts, like it's important to keep going. You know what I'm saying? You bring so much more to the table than what you may see right now. You know, but you know, and I know it's not that easy. I know I'm just saying stuff, but I do think it's important to know that you bring so much to this table, that you are necessary, you are needed, you know, and to keep this world going around, bro. Because if you wasn't born, this world would not be the same.
That's true. That is 100% true. You know, and just to kind of even speak to that point, like, you know, even just us, like being in the fields that we're in, you know, that we do creative things, like all success doesn't look the same. Now, of course, we're all plagued with the idea of comparing ourselves to people that, like, you know, like you've been mentioning throughout the entire episode, but everybody's success is not going to look the same. Our paths are not going to look the same, no matter whether we do the same thing or not. You can be as successful as someone else, just in a different way, right? So whether, you know, somebody doesn't reach that level that they see person A reach or person B reach, you can be as successful as those people in whatever field it may be, or whatever, you know, you wind up doing. And that, keeping that in mind, is important to you know, to just keep going. Like you're important to somebody, and just, you know, you just got to find your way, find your path, and be as successful as you can be within that.
Within your path.
Yeah, within your path.
Because at the end of the day, bro, we look at people and we can be like, dang, like oh man, I ain't this, I ain't that.
And but it changes. It changes too. You know, your paths can change too. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure with some people who was like, I'm supposed to be a Hoover. Like, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm 6'6". Like, I'm nice. But then they wind up doing something. They wind up doing something completely different, and it don't even have to be nothing involved with basketball. Like, and they be like, "Yo, this is the most happy I've ever been. I'm changing lives. I'm doing, you know, everything."
And I think the key like that, finding longevity in whatever you do, bro. Because at the end of the day, you can see somebody be the biggest of the big. You know what I'm saying? And then they back down. But the whole time they the biggest of the big, you over there being envious, like, oh my gosh, I want to be this, I want to be that. And then it takes for them to come back down for you to realize that they're a human just like you. No, you a human too. You know what I'm saying? Just like you can be the biggest of the big, you can be the lowest of the low. You know what I'm saying? But it's not, at least for me, it wasn't until I realized we're all equal. We are literally all equal. And we all have, you know, whether it's a small portion or whatever, to add to his life, to keep it going around, to keep it elevated, to take it to the next level, that I took a lot of stress off of myself, you know what I'm saying? Because now to me, it's like, Michael Jackson was a person. You know what I'm saying? I used to think Michael Jackson was some god or something, right? Then I realized Michael Jackson's a human being.
He's a dude.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, man, I had the chance to write for one of my idols, not idols, one of my, you know, inspirations growing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
can you say who? Or
no.
Okay, all right. No, I just was making sure.
But I had a chance to write a song for him, right? And I said, I'm here in the studio with him. He needed my pen. You know what I'm saying? Just like I needed his voice to convey whatever words I'm writing, he needed my pen to have words to convey, to have a melody to sing. You know what I'm saying? We're working together. This ain't no, oh my gosh, you're this, we're working together. And that's why I approach everybody on whatever team I'm working on, we're working together. Just like when I'm on film, the film Victor was the first thing that I produced by myself, where I had a full crew. Like I had sound, lighting, DP, assistant director, you know what I'm saying? Behind the scenes, I had actors, everything, right? And I'm realizing like, and I already knew it. I already knew it from, going to theater school and learning about behind the scenes and all that stuff. But I really realized in that moment, oh, this shot couldn't look like this without the lighter, without.
You good?
Hello?
Yeah, you good.
Okay. No, but I'm saying like, I realized, oh, this shot couldn't look like this without the gaffer. I had an idea in my head, but my DP made it come to life and he put a twist on it because he knows this. It wouldn't sound as good without, my boom operator. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was this one scene in Victor where I just couldn't get it right. I couldn't get it right. But my assistant director, my fellow actors, and my DP and stuff, they said, how about you try this? How about you try that? And it was just as important as me being on that screen acting. You know what I'm saying? So we're all working together. We're not working separately. We're all working together. And I think that's the thing, like not just our culture, but our world has such a individual mindset thing that I think we think, that's where the egos come from. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's me. This is my thing. But bro, you're not gonna be that without the this and without the that and without the this and without your teacher in third grade who told you that you know what I'm saying? We all are working together for the greater good. You know what I'm saying? So at least that's what I think.
I can second that for sure. 100%. So real quick, I'm gonna get you out of here soon. I'm gonna get you out of here soon. Just a couple more things. So, is there anything you want to plug?
Yep. Well, first, my social media is at Isley Harris, ITSLEEHARRISS. I got some. Well, I'm starting to work on new music again. That probably won't come out until the twilight of 2022.
The twilight.
Yeah. But I have a film coming out next month, February, called Victor, that I wrote, produced, and directed, and worked on with my man's David Suarez, Perspective Media, and my guy Beer Vision and all that stuff. We got something great coming out called Victor. It's about a 15 to 20 minute short film. That's going to be dope. So please be on the lookout for that.
Where can we find it?
It's going to be on Instagram and YouTube. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you follow my Instagram, you'll be able to watch the full thing on Instagram, or my YouTube channel is Lee Harris. So. Cool. And I have a podcast coming out about next month too with my friends Addie B, David Suarez, and Aaron Jordan. And all of us, we just four guys just not following our dreams, but manifesting our dreams. And we just gonna come together and talk about that in life and love and crazy stuff that we go through or whatever, expectations or whatever. And it's gonna be called the Not Regular Podcast. So, but if you follow me on my social media, you'll definitely be up to date with everything that I got coming out.
Okay, cool. All right, two more things, and then I'm gonna get you out of here. I promise you. All right, so
this conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. Thank you for giving me the time and the space to actually have this conversation with you.
Yeah, man, it's a good time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So just we gotta have a little fun, and I'm curious. So what's your top 5 artists of all time, music artists of all time, and also your top 5 actors?
Oh man, all right. Michael Jackson. Marvin Gaye. Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye. If we talk about all around artists, I gotta go from Michael Jackson and Marvin Gaye to
we got 3 more.
Oh man, that's gonna be a hard 3.
You can say
I'm gonna say Kanye West.
There you go.
Kanye West,
I hope you don't leave my boy off this 5, man.
Who?
I'm waiting for you to finish.
Nah, so many people.
If you say them, I'll let you know.
Dang, I gotta put Usher in there.
Okay.
And I'm gonna just put Breezy in there. I love Breezy. I got so many more different influences and inspirations and stuff, but who was you thinking about?
No, I see. I'm a Prince guy. I'm a Prince
Prince?
guy. Yeah, I'm a Prince guy.
All right, hold on. All right.
Prince is number 1 to me.
Michael,
man.
Prince, Marvin, Stevie, forget it. Michael, Prince, Marvin, Stevie, and Kanye West. Those are my top 5. That's my top 5.
That's a solid. That's a hell of a 5 right there.
Yeah, that's my top 5 right there.
I think we got 3 of the same 5. 3.
Yeah.
I believe. I think I got Mike, Prince, and Stevie in my all-time 5.
We
ain't gonna waste no time talking about that. Right. So who your top 5 actors?
Denzel, Leonardo DiCaprio. Those is Wesley Snipes because of his versatility. I really love Adam Driver right now. Adam Driver is like one of my top actors right now. And
say yourself.
I'm trying. It's
you can say
I'll put Viola Davis. I gotta represent. You know what I'm saying? I'll put Viola Davis in there. But also I'm over all 10 of those people and everything else I do. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, no, I ain't over nobody. Of course, I gotta put myself in both of those conversations. You know what I'm saying?
You should.
I'm definitely.
I put myself in them conversations. I don't act no rat.
You got to. But yeah. But if I missed anybody, I take inspiration from so many people like James Brown, Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire, Sammy Davis Jr., Sidney Poitier, you know what I'm saying? Brian McKnight, and the list can go, Marvin Gaye, the list can go on, Chris Brown, Usher, Justin Timberlake, the Miguel, the list can go on and on and on, you know what I'm saying? But those was like, for right now in my head, those was first thought.
No, absolutely. I mean, listen, I just asked you 5. I just was curious. All right. So last but not least, can you provide 3 gems for the people to take away from this conversation that we had?
1, be yourself. In order to be yourself, you got to know yourself. So discover yourself.
That's all 1 gem.
Yeah. You know, one thing that was reiterated by you, but you know, just put your best foot forward. Come out with great intentions, and you can't let any. That's all you can do is come out with the greatest intentions. You know what I'm saying? And you know, just love what you. That's kind of in the second gem. Be empathetic. Be kind to people the best way you can. Whether it take you a year to do so, really try to take the time out to be empathetic to others, you know, because nobody's life is like yours. So you can't fully understand anybody else's life, you know? So, yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, that's it, man. You know, we reached the end. We reached the conclusion of this episode of HolloTalk podcast.
Man, this was fun, bro. Thank you for having me on here,
no,
bro.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I definitely look forward to having you come back on here too. You know, we going to talk on the record and set something up, but this was amazing, man. And I truly, truly appreciate you for, you know, like I said, giving me the space and time to have this conversation with you and, just chop it up, man.
Yeah, bro. This was really, and I learned so much, bro, just from being on here, man. I think for this platform, I'm proud of you for doing what you're doing.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
It's happening, man. It's happening. 1 episode at a time, and you're doing it, bro. And,
hey, we making it happen, right?
and bro, people think I'm capping, bro, but coming from where we from, bro, it's like.
I know. I mean, they might not know, but we know.
Yeah, bro. So it's like, the fact that I see you doing this, bro, like, yeah, I mean, like you got a lifetime supporter. No cap.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And same goes from me to you.
Yeah, you already know, bro.
Yeah, but like I said, this has been another episode of the HolloTalk podcast. Always I want to thank the HolloTalk podcast listeners and supporting us for supporting us through and through. And thank you to my guy Lee Harris, the ever so talented Lee Harris.
Yes,
I appreciate you, my guy. All right. So you stay safe and you stay blessed, bro.
You too, bro. Stay blessed. One.
Peace.